Hello, everyone. Thanks for viewing the online asbestos notification training. I'm Nicholas McCormick. I'll walk you through how to actually go about submitting your notifications online. So through this tutorial, I'm going to take you step by step on how to submit an online notification, submit an online revision, and pay by credit card. So next we have a summary of the features and benefits of submitting asbestos and demolition notifications via the online Excella Citizen Access. Some of those are submitting, you have the ability to submit your notification online 24/7. You can submit revisions 24/7 as well. You'll get an email confirming notification was submitted, and contractor notification summary reports will be sent to you by email, and you can also pay by credit card and e-check online. Some other things I'd like to discuss are some of the fees that you guys will actually be able to save too. So there's definitely a financial benefit to submitting notifications online versus emailing or bringing in paper notifications to the office. One is going to be that your original notifications submitted online are discounted and the fees are lower than submitting via email or coming into the office. If you submit timely revision notifications or cancellations online, they're also free. You just got to make sure you get them in on time. Next is a screenshot of asbestos fees in San Diego APCD Rule 40. As you can see, hundreds of dollars are saved by submitting asbestos and demolition notifications online. In sections 6 and 7, it details that the revisions and cancellations are free. All right, so lastly, I'm going to kind of explain to you how to actually go to our website and get to the online submittal form. So first you're going to want to go to our website, www.sdapcd.org. Then at the side of the page, select I want to. Clicking here will direct you to our asbestos page where you can then click on submit a notification and then the online link seen in the slide below. That's in the red box down there. The link will then take you to Excella Citizen Access, the online portal to submit your notifications, and I'll walk you through that part next. All right, so now we will start at the district homepage, which is going to be www.sdapcd.org. From this homepage, we're going to navigate to compliance. Once this compliance page loads, you can go ahead and scroll down and look at this I want to column on the right-hand side. Under the submit section, there's an asbestos notification link. Go ahead and click on that. Now we can scroll down to these tabs. We're going to hit submit a notification. This will pop up. We then have this online option down here. Go ahead and click the hyperlink and that will take us to our Citizens Access portal. This may or may not pop up. Just hit continue if it does. Alright, so now we're at our login page. First we're going to sign into the portal. If you don't have an account, you will log in, you'll create one using the login information option below. So new users register for an account. Go ahead and do that, then you'll get redirected eventually back to this page. So I'm going to go ahead and sign in now and we'll continue with the process. All right, now that we're signed in, we can go ahead and select APCD. That's what we'll be working on today. Now, once we're on this page, is our opportunity to update contact information for our account. So go ahead and click on Account Management. The benefits of this are that you can save contact information so you don't have to re-enter it every time you submit a notification. As you see here, I've created essentially two profiles, just for example. One's for the property owner, so that I can have their contact information. I have my information. You could also have contact information for the landfill where non-asbestos debris is being transported to, the transporter themselves, the asbestos removal and or demolition contractor, and the job location. So those are all different contacts that you can save just to make the whole process a lot quicker and a lot more efficient. Now to add these contacts, all you have to do is click Add a Contact and it will prompt you with empty boxes to fill out their contact information. Go ahead and get all those added and then we will go back up here to APCD and start the process of the actual application. After you click APCD, click this More tab and then select Get Air Quality Service. From here, you'll read our disclaimer. Once you've finished reading the disclaimer, you will go ahead and select I have read and accept the above terms, and then hit Continue Application. Now we're going to select what kind of project it is that we're working with. That's going to be our APCD asbestos notification right here. That's what we're doing for the purposes of this example. Go ahead and select Asbestos Notification Online and hit Continue. The design of the portal places the Revision tab as the first tab, as we can see here. If we're submitting a new notification, we want it to be on Asbestos Notification tab, tab 2. To do that, you're going to scroll to the bottom and click Continue. Now we can see that we're on our Asbestos Notification tab. Our notification submittal date will auto-populate. That's why you see the red cross come through it if we try to highlight or change anything. Next, we're going to select our project type. Our project type, we can either select demolition, emergency removal, planned renovation, or renovation and demolition. For this example, we're going to do renovation and demolition. Now we're going to update all of the contact information for our facility and our project. So for this part, it's APCD ASB facility. The nice part is with this, we already under account management added these contacts. So instead of having to type in the contact information over and over and over again, we can use the pre-populated from our account management to fill this part out. So if we go ahead and click Select from Account, we can select one of those pre-made contacts. Go ahead and select it and then press Continue. And then for the facility owner, if that's the same, we'll select from account again and we'll select the same one. So that's going to be our associated contact right here, same one we selected before. Go ahead and click Continue. Now we can continue down and select our facility information. Let's say our building size is 2,000 square feet. Our number of floors is 2. Our building's prior use was an office. You can select whatever kind of use it may have been before. Building age, we'll say it's 60 years old. Number of units were 4. And the present use is going to be a new office. Now we're at survey information. The next step is to complete the survey information. So first we're going to select if asbestos is present or not. If we select yes, it'll prompt us to include the specifics of the survey. So we can use this nice little icon that'll pop up a chart here. Let's go ahead and say we conducted our survey last month and the survey company was Asbestos Inc. We can then fill out the rest of the contact information for this part. Then we can select the certification type. We'll say it's a certified asbestos consultant. And type in our certification number, whatever that may be. And then we can use the calendar drop down again to select the certification expiration date. Let's say that is in July of 2023. Now we can select if asbestos is present. We'll say yes. Now we're on to asbestos detection procedure. For our asbestos detection procedure section, we are going to check the procedures and analytical methods used to detect the presence of asbestos. So this could be bulk sampling, TEM, PLM, or PCM. For this example, we'll say it was bulk sampling done with PLM. Now we're going to move on to our asbestos removal operations, where we can go ahead and select if asbestos is going to be removed. For this example, we're going to say yes. When you select yes, the start and end dates boxes pop up. The start date can't be blank. It must be at least 10 working days from the submission date. So let's make it far ahead. Let's say we're submitting it January 13th. And then our end date, let's say it's a quick job, will be January 27th. That works. So it doesn't give me any error message. It will usually generate an error message if you put a date in that's within that 10-day period. So now we're going to move on to asbestos material details. You can add multiple rows at once if you just click this add row button. It makes a pop-up that then asks us to fill out the material, the type of material, the material condition, the removal method, and the amount of material in square feet, and to list whether or not it's regulated. So for this, let's say we're doing acoustic popcorn ceiling. It'll automatically tell us that it's friable based off of the material that we input. The material condition, we can say if it's in good or poor condition. Let's say it's an old building, it's our 60-year-old building, so we'll say it's poor. Our removal method is going to be hand tools, and the amount of material, we'll say that that is going to be 1,000 square feet. And yes, this will be regulated, which also auto-populates because of the friable and the material listed. There we go, we can see our material added. This is the drop down. You click this little arrow to actually add more than one row at a time if you want. So we can add a second row and we'll fill it out one more time. Let's say this one's adhesives, and then this one is going to be blown in insulation. So again, our category for type of material auto fills out, and whether or not it's regulated auto populates as well. We'll say it's in good condition. We'll say the blown in insulation's in poor condition. The removal method, we'll say we're using a floor buffer for the adhesives, and we'll say this is 500 square feet. And then the removal method for the blown in insulation, we can set this to other mechanical methods or hand tools. Let's do hand tools. And then the amount of material, we'll say that's our other last 500 square feet. Go ahead and click submit once we've entered all that. You also have an actions tab if you want to edit or delete those entries. There's also an edit selected, so you can edit more than one at a time, and a delete selected to delete any rows that you have selected using these selection boxes on the left. Alright, so now we're going to move on to regulated asbestos containing material. For this section, we will enter the total RACM. This section is very important because of what is stated in the red right here. That's going to be the number that is entered under total RACM is the total amount of asbestos that is regulated from the above table. The number that is entered here is what is used to calculate your fees for this notification. So this is going to determine how much you have to pay based on the square footage. So for this project, we said we had 2,000 square feet of RACM. If for whatever reason the total RACM is lower than the total regulated material listed in the material details explained in this box, now we're going to move on to asbestos removal practices and engineering controls. So this is going to describe how we're actually going to do the work, what's going to be used to do it. So for this, we already said we would do a floor buffer. We can also say we're going to use a HEPA vacuum. We're going to use water for the popcorn ceiling. maybe a terminator for the floor. You can select however many you need for that section. Then we're going to move on to demolition operations. For demolition operations, we're asked, will any load supporting structural members be demolished? If we say yes, some more boxes will populate. Will any asbestos containing material ACM be disturbed by demolition? No, let's assume we already removed all of that material before we started our demolition. So now we're going to list the demolition operation start date. It also lets us know the demolition operation start date cannot be blank or before the current date, 12/6/2022. The reason for that is that's the day that we're submitting our notification. So let's say we do the removal and now we're going to do the demolition after. So let's say the demolition is going to start in March. And then we can do the end date. Let's say it's going to take all month. There we go. So we have an end date of 3/31. Now we're asked, will Rackham remain in building during the demolition? No, because we removed everything. Was all Rackham previously removed? Yes. Was the demolition with the Category 1 materials? Nope. And no again, because we didn't leave anything in place. Now we can move on to the demolition work practices and engineering controls. These are going to be similar to what we did above for the Rackham removal. So now we can go ahead and select what we're going to use. Let's say we're using a bulldozer, we're using hammers, and maybe a backhoe. And you can select as many as you need and finish up that section. Next, we'll move on to the contingency plan. Contingency plans are describes the action to be followed if unexpected asbestos is found during demolition or abatement, or if non-fireable asbestos material becomes crumbled, pulverized, or reduced to powder. So we're going to say, yes, we have a contingency plan. Our plan would be to stop work, isolate the area, stabilize whatever's not stable, notify our asbestos abatement contractor, check our survey, we're going to post signs, and we're going to secure the area. Other actions might be to test the material if it's a new material that we suspect might have asbestos. So we could say test new material. And then that's it for our contingency plan section. Now we're going to move on to APCD asbestos removal contractor. This is going to be more of our contact information. That's what all of these sections are. So it's our demo contractor, our landfill, our non-asbestos, and our transporter. You can have a second transporter for non-asbestos as well. And again, this is all information you can pre-populate in, if we scroll up to the top, our account management section. And it just saves us time from having to type all that out individually for each single one, every single one. So let's go ahead and hit select. We can then say this is John Doe and hit continue. And we could have a different contact for every single one of these. So I'm going to go ahead and just select these. John Doe is going to do everything for this project. Alright, so our last step is going to be information certification. So you're essentially certifying that all the above information that you filled out is correct. We can go back and check it. Then you can type in your name. We can select the date, and then we can select our affiliation to the project or the notification, and list our email. and we can hit continue to continue the process. Alright, so our next tab is going to be Documents, and we can go ahead and discuss that now. Under the Documents tab, we can add any applicable documents. This could be surveys, any other information or pictures to explain an emergency renovation or anything else like that. Once we upload those, we can go ahead and select Continue. You can now see that we're on our Review tab. So basically what the Review tab does is allow us to review the information one more time before we go ahead and submit the notification online. So we can scroll through, everything looks good, do a once over of it. If everything looks good, you can go ahead and select Continue. This will take us to our last tab, which is going to be our Pay Fees tab. On our Pay Fees tab, we can see that it gives us a breakdown of everything that we're going to have to pay. So in this example, we did a renovation and demolition. We listed the square footage as 2,000, and the demolition is just the one demolition. It's a fixed fee, as it states right here. We can hit recalculate. Nothing should change because it's already auto-populated. So it tells us our grand total down here. Our total fees are going to come out to $1,511. After we verify all this and check and everything looks right, we can hit Continue Application. That takes us to our third-party bill pay site. This is kind of what it looks like. You have the options to pay by card or pay with e-check. For the purposes of this example, I'm not actually going to fill out the credit card information, but you would select Pay by Card. And then you can fill out your credit card billing information, your payment information, and verification. And once you have done this, you will get a confirmation, and it will have the outline of your notification. So this is kind of what that will look like. It'll have the project type, facility name, facility location, the renovation, start date, end date, same with the demolition right there, and all that good information that you've input throughout the process. Anyways, that's pretty much all I have for you guys. I hope that online tutorial has been helpful. If you have any questions through this process, please don't hesitate to reach out to the district directly. You can give us a call at 858-586-2650. Again, that's 858-586-2650. Or shoot us an email at apcdcomp@sdapcd.org. Again, that's apcdcomp@sdapcd.org.